make sure we spark this before we start anything because really, I figure that's the reason you're here.
Good smokes.
Yeah, definitely. We'll put some of our dosey dose in there for you.
Great smokes.
Good afternoon, everybody. As you guys know, by now you should if you watched episode 1. I'm Dash's Clay, and this is We Want All the Smoke with the rapper Weed. I'm here with none other than one of my favorite artists that I actually personally know, but want to know on a better note, so I'm happy to have you on this interview. AP Greg, thank you, my brother, for showing out, coming and doing this interview with us. A fucking great moment to have you here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so the first thing that I honestly want to know, because I've known you long enough, how did you get the name AP Greg, and did you give that to yourself, or did somebody give that to you?
Well, I was formerly known as, I started off as Young Greg. I was YG. Everybody knew me as YG.
Got you.
Time ago. So I was in a group prior to this, prior to being a solo artist. I was in a group which kind of prolonged my young adolescent career, and like during that time, stuff wasn't in order. So once I seen YG pop and the other YG, it was two YGs that came out. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna create my own persona, my own name, just separately. You know, I don't want to come in, you know what I'm saying, as a third.
Got you. But AP, of course, for most people that don't know, AP is Alapata.
Correct.
And that's like the origin of you know, because
AP.
For those that know him, know that you're from AP. You're actually one of the most famous artists out of that city. So it's, for me, I think it's a great representation for the city, for you, for the name. Like, I think it kind of like, it just kind of like.
Yeah, that's definitely what I envisioned. I just wanted to take them everywhere I go, and what better name than that? You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
So I'm just taking them everywhere with me.
Okay, so I see that you travel a lot with Zoey. Zoey's probably one of the last few artists that actually like has a successful career that keeps going up from Miami. You know, especially in the past, I would say like 5 years, we haven't really seen too many Miami artists blow out of Miami. And if they have been, it's been like, I would say artists like Lil Pump, like people that actually don't really like, I would say more or less represent what people think Miami is.
Correct.
Because Miami to me is like completely diverse. From my perspective, I expect people like Chris Cab and Lil Pump and all these artists that are different to come out of Miami. It's just the forefront of Miami hip hop is what it's always been, and it's like the gangsterism, the hard, you know, like the heart of it is the, you know, Trick Daddy is like the main representative, and it's kind of hard to evade that shadow. Like, so what's your connection with Zoey? Like, are you guys family? You guys friends? You know, from school?
Man, we pretty much everything. We pretty much, man, like family, brothers, business partners, my mentor. I can't lie to you, man. I'm definitely grateful for the fact that he's on my side, on my corner. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It helps tremendously as far as motivation, preparation, just seeing how hard he works behind the scenes, how much sleepless nights he had to put in the studio while everyone else had the freedom of going to sleep when you're really tired.
Yeah.
He stuck it there and grinded it. So I pick up all the great things, all the great characteristics from him. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to soak up all the games.
Yeah, because for those that follow you on Instagram, they know that you've been to a lot of places, and I imagine having somebody like that in your corner is probably one of the best things for your career, because like you're saying, you get to see the actual behind the scenes. What most artists that are up and coming, I think, have like an issue with is that they don't really get to see the work that being an artist entails.
Yeah,
they get to see the successes, they get to see the YouTube videos, they get to see the vlogs, they get to see everything that we as artists would like to, in a sense, portray or show, because we, most of us don't really like showing all the bad shit that we go through, all the heartaches that we go through, and a lot of times that shit's not captured on camera. You know what I'm saying?
No, for real.
So seeing him work, seeing him having to take the long route, having to do the long hours, I imagine that's like a really big help.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I can't even begin to speak on how big that is for me. It's like feeling like you got all the answers before the test.
Got you. Of course. And then, of course, so now you know where the bar is set.
Absolutely.
And you're every time you go to work, you're thinking, I saw how much he had to do. There's no way I'm going to be able to do less.
Watching Zoey work instilled in my my repertoire to never ask for a handout.
Gotcha.
Never ask for a handout. But what do you earn? What do you bring to the table? What are you putting in? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
People always get the wrong idea and think it's supposed to come served on a platter, which is,
Gotcha.
That's definitely
100%.
That's definitely not.
Yeah, it's not
That's
the
not
reality
how it
of
is.
it. Okay, so yeah, definitely some water. Drink H2O.
H2. Oh,
It's not weed infused rapper weed water, but
right.
we put a rapper weed sticker over it.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, that would be ideal. That's funny that you said that, because yesterday somebody told me that they have hemp for $5, hemp water for $5. So I asked what the purpose of the hemp water would be. Like, does it get you high? And they said, no, it doesn't get you high. I imagine it like relaxes you a bit. Would you pay $5 for hemp water?
If it relaxes me.
How about this? Would you pay for THC water if it basically did the same thing for you as a blunt did? Do you think that would cut back the amount of smoke that you roll up and inhale?
Yes.
So then maybe
Pretty good point.
that's a gold mine right there. If you think about it. If you think about the health concerns that we have as smokers, that could be a gold mine right there. Imagine if a blunt was the equivalent of that water bottle.
Yeah, you might want to patent that before you air this in the
or we just needed an investor to come to us, and I didn't give up the whole recipe. I just,
you know what I'm saying?
I laid a little bit of the groundwork so you guys can get the picture. That's funny. Speaking of that, what do you think? What is like for an artist like you that I think from being around you so much, dealing with you so much, I consider you like, not that you're not right now, and this isn't an insult, but I consider you a potentially amazing businessman because of the way you talk about things, the way you want to set things up. We have conversations, and I know a lot of times, like, there's things that we want that are not easy to attain for independent artists, especially independent artists out the gate. But the mentality of the things that you need, you always express to me. Whether you're able to get them right away or you eventually get them, you always express certain things to me that other artists don't talk about. Like, other artists will come to me and be like, I need a manager. And that's kind of like the end of all for them. Like, they think that's the golden fucking Willy Wonka ticket. Like, if I get a manager, I can just fucking put my feet up and I'm in the game. But it's a lot more pieces to that. Like, like we've had conversations about assistants, cameraman, touring managers, the graphic designers. That there's certain aspects that make a company run fluidly. Is that like a potential goal for you to eventually, aside from music, either maybe run a label, start your own businesses? Like, where do you see yourself like in a little bit after the success or during the success?
Definitely. It's funny that you mentioned that because as I'm putting, you want to call it an empire. It's a warehouse. It's a well-oiled machine, so to speak, that you need behind you. So as I'm doing it, and I'm going through the motions, and we're going over all the specific things that need to get done, the A through Z. I'm noticing that if I could just make it a template all the way through for every record that an artist puts out, I could do it for a lot more people. You know what I'm saying? So in the beginning, I was thinking about it's no way that I would be able to run my label and then run other artists because it'll take away from the focus on me. But
Gotcha.
in reality, there's a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? There is a way to do it. So
Music business is almost a little bit systematic, right?
yeah, it's systematic.
I mean, of course, it varies from artists because each artist has their own
yeah, true.
positives and negatives. But
everybody has their own.
But from
little
from how you're saying that, I feel that part is systematic of it. Like it needs graphic, it needs marketing,
correct.
it needs some kind of structure to it to make it
Put that like a well-oiled machine.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely do want to start like.
So that's your main thing, that you're like a label or a A&R company or.
Well, I actually do have my own label already. It's called Top 3 Records.
Gotcha.
So you know what I'm saying. Sooner or later, we definitely will be reaching out to artists and stuff like that.
You're gonna be. You have your eye on any artists right now. You don't have to give them up on here, but you have your eye on artists that you look at right now, and you're like, man,
Absolutely.
potentially in the future, I'd like that.
Yeah, I absolutely do. And I won't, you know what I'm saying? For that purpose, I won't say the name, but I do have my eyes on a couple artists that.
Recording, writing, performing. Give me the order of what you love to do.
Writing, recording, and performing. My favorite part would definitely have to be writing. Because like I came up off of that. You know what I'm saying? I came up off of that. Like, so I take pride in it when you're able to put something raw together. But sometimes, let me keep it real. Sometimes, like, I started picking up a little faster. Now it's like I may just come up with it like in the booth as I go. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely love the writing aspect of it. And after that, I would say recording definitely would be second favorite. And performance is definitely on, that's definitely what I'm trying to master. Perfect.
And that's so funny. I would have thought you would have said performing first.
No.
Because to me, you're such a, in a sense, like a braggadocious person.
But
that I imagine that for you, you're like, man, the highlight of my day is like when I get to fucking wear my favorite fucking outfit, my new shoes, and talk my shit
I love me.
to all the people at one time. Like, I would think that would be your first.
Nah, my
But I get why you like writing, because you're in a sense like a studio hermit in a sense. Exactly. You can include yourself in there. I've seen for countless hours and work.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know that you have a passion for that. But like I said, for just reasons that I know you, I would think performing would probably be like your.
Man, listen, if whoever got love for me, you want to do something for me, just get in the studio out, man. That's where I want to be, getting in the studio. Like, I just feel like one of the best feelings about the whole process of music is in the studio pressing play and then hearing what you were able to do and like really enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Even when you super tough on yourself, like when you really like what you hear, and like other people are like vouching for that, and it hits people a certain way. That's what I love the most. But I'm trying to definitely master the craft of performing because, like, just keeping it honest with myself. Like whenever I would look at the cameras and look at the views, like I just never looked like I haven't hit my peak yet because like I was always like self-conscious of my body because I knew I wasn't in shape, so I couldn't look how I was. So that shit always been fucking with me because I'm on stage trying to perform and suck my stomach in at the same time. trying to look good. I'm running out of breath, and I ain't even know. I'm like, man, this is too much. So that's why I want to like, you know what I'm saying? I started. You know,
But that has to be a natural. Like, how do you think Biggie felt? Do you think
but
Biggie?
you see, it's different. You see, my boy Mac, he gonna tell me, man, if I was you, man, I'd take my shirt off. Fuck it, it's how it is.
Did Biggie ever take his shirt off?
No, I don't know. I doubt it. Those pictures never surfaced. He was in New York. It's cold as shit.
Who was a Bone Crusher? Bone Crusher is a different type of breed. But I'm just saying, like, do you think they ever felt insecure about themselves in a sense, like watching themselves on stage?
But you see, because they can embrace it because that's their.
Yeah, that's
That's like. Not, I don't want to say their default, but that's like how they're structured.
Do you feel?
You see me?
I
don't feel like I was.
You feel you were just being lazy?
Yeah. I ain't like,
funny.
I was like, I've been too late, so I got it.
Now you see the consequences of the McDonald's and the sleeping in.
It's stressful when you got the munchies late night.
That's another thing. That's another thing.
Crazy.
But and that's like, see that. I love these conversations because it's like I think people are gonna get to see aspects of what we do that people don't think about. Like now that you're more successful, you have more fame. These are things you have to think about. But the flip side of that is our lifestyle fucks up our hours in the day. So all of a sudden, we're in a session at 3:30 in the morning and we're starving. Our options of eating are limited. And like, there's really not that much healthy food at 3:30 in the morning. But these are conscious thoughts that you're thinking about. Like, you're like, man, listen, man, I'm starving as fuck. But everybody's like, I'll just get McDonald's real quick. And you're like,
But you see, like, a way around that is, like, I just heard about an Eminem story where his studio hours were 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So
he's probably the only person I've ever heard that.
You're the master of your own life. So I could make that schedule. I can say, man, listen, I'm only recording daytime. So that way, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm only kidding myself because I gotta.
Listen, I think Eminem fucked up a lot of people with that fucking statement. The fact that you just gave me that statement back, I think Eminem's statement, like, I think Akon fucked up the rap game with that statement about Eminem about 9 to 5. I feel like I'm gonna have bad people tell me like, yeah, man, meet me from like 12 to 5, and then like do the same shit and be like, yo, man, I'm out. My 40 hours is up this week, man. I don't get OT. And I feel like that's gonna fuck that shit up. Imagine that though, man. Listen, there's a lot of artists that are part-time artists that have jobs. I ran into somebody at the Apple store the other day that I was mad surprised. I'm like, dude, this is a really successful artist, and he works at the Apple store. It blew my mind. What do you feel about that? You feel it's okay to have a job, or do you feel you have to fucking be full time in this game to be successful?
Nah, because it's like if you want to assure yourself a check because you're a real human being, you're not just your rapper name, you're your actual government name, and you got real people around you that this shit will affect. You know what I'm saying? So, and yourself. So if that's gonna be your means of keeping some money in your pocket, then that's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's all on how bad it's all on how bad you want it, how bad you chase it, because like you're gonna have time after that to do what you gotta do, so you can't really blame it on that.
That's a great perspective. I'm of like the asshole side of it where I'm like, listen, you want it, get it. What are you doing wasting your time at a 9 to 5 if you want this so bad? But like the way you break it down, like that's for once I could be like, yeah, that makes fucking complete sense. Like you have a family to fucking to provide for sometimes. You've got people, and I'm pretty sure that to keep your dream alive, sometimes you do have to pay bills in certain ways.
No, looking at it now, like the great advice would be like if you need a check, you can find a job that's gonna actually pay you like that, like for something inclined with music, like I don't know, learn how to engineer, get paid for that, or you know what I'm saying, try to go be a promoter at a club. That'll keep you inclined musically. You know what I'm saying? Something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Something to keep you in the mix.
Yeah, something to put some money in.
That for me, that's basically how I look at it. Like if I'm like, listen, man, if you want to be an artist, you want to be a producer, you don't necessarily have to be getting paid for being a producer at the moment because you're working up to it. But maybe you should be an engineer. Maybe you should be a light guy. Maybe you should be involved in the system somehow, so you can somehow at least have your one foot in the door at all times. Like that's my way of thinking, but like I said, I completely understand your way of saying, like, yo, man, listen, you gotta fucking feed people, you gotta take care of people, and sometimes this is what holds the dream up.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody ain't gonna be able to, hustle and do their little 1, 2 or whatever you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? So
There's nothing wrong with a job, man. People, human beings.
you know what I'm saying?
What's your favorite song this year?
This year,
Not yours, like just out.
good ass question.
Is there a song that hit you and you just
I was
like that every time?
Probably like 3 of them. I probably like 3 of them. Let me see.
Old Town Road?
Nah, it definitely, it could have easily been, when I heard 100 Shooters, that shit was crazy.
Which one's 100 Shooters?
Meek Mill Future.
Gotcha.
Snowboy.
Okay.
That shit was crazy.
And that's not that big of a record.
I mean, it's
a big record.
Yeah, but we talking just.
No, I'm picking your brain right now. That's all.
Yeah. No, but like, you see, I'm not gonna listen like the big records. Like, I'm always like just tune into my favorite type shit. I got like, I'm not gonna lie. You see the Future and Lil Key Undefeated. That was one of my favorites. I mean, also got, no lie, this year, you got Zoey Worked Too Hard. That shit was like a super hard record. Like that record right there, like it did some numbers to the point where like a lot of people was like really, really fucking with the record. You know what I'm saying? Like that record go crazy. It's like a lot of people feel that. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Rick Ross with Gunplay, Nobody's Favorite. That's one of my favorite records I've heard this year too. Rick Ross, Nobody's Favorite. It's one of those. One of those, man. I know, like
who's in your opinion the best rapper to ever come out of Miami?
The best rapper,
like Trick Daddy, Pitbull, Zoe, Flo Rida, the list goes on.
As far as Miami, man, I look up to 2 rappers.
Go for it.
I look up to Rick Ross.
Uh-huh.
I look up to Zoey Dollaz.
There you go. Those are two good names though. Those are 2 great names.
That's I'm saying everybody got their views, you know what I'm saying? That's just in my peripheral view, like those are 2 main Miami artists that I got motivated by, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna ask you a question that to me a lot of people might think is like a thin ice question to ask. Do you think, being from Miami, and I only ask this because we're on the inside as to opposed of everybody that's on the outside, do you think the whole Trick Daddy representation of Miami has faded and Miami is different now? Or do you think that is still like Miami? And I only ask that because I feel like every time I talk to people from out of town, like they always reference Trick.
Trick Daddy?
Yeah. Or Pitbull.
It's like them niggas so Dade County is like I don't know, to me it's like real culture based. It's like see Trick, like Trick always, you know what I'm saying, he always been how he been. Like, you know what I'm saying? Been hype. So it's Miami, like, I'm not gonna lie, man. It's like when it come down to the trenches and shit like that, like we still like we don't wear like old school. We hip up to fashion.
Yeah.
But it's still like, you know what I'm saying? Like if we're saying that it's still gutter, like as opposed to being copy and song.
Yeah, like that's the Miami.
Miami still, Miami. You got to, you know what I'm saying?
But Miami's
the
big.
people I know.
Yeah.
At least the people I know. Like, you know, a lot of people see now. Everybody do fuck with all the new shit. You know what I'm saying? All the new, you know what I'm saying? The Gunners, you know what I'm saying? The Babies and all, you know, the new wave. Like we up to date with the drip. You know what I'm saying? But like, define a little bit more what you mean about like as far as like how Trick Daddy.
Okay, like Trick Daddy was always dunks and like the golds and the bands, like.
But you see, like, just nothing. I don't mean to cut you off, but yeah, like, I do plan on getting a dunk. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is that still Miami culture?
It's just some Miami shit. But no, like nobody really do it. Like
I could answer this, but I'm asking you because I want people that on the outside to understand this.
People do like in the streets, motherfuckers are probably like, man, nobody really riding dunk. Like everybody got phones. Nobody really doing like. But you see me, like from my point of view. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go get me a little ass dunk, like short.
Your name is AP Greg, man.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's
I feel like it's Miami people with the Miami roots.
Yeah, like it's only right. Like that's just some Miami shit. You know, like
to me, like Miami is like a forever pot turning of different cultures, and like there's so many people that move here, move out of here, aren't from here, visit here, and it's like there's not as much heritage yet.
I feel what you're saying. I mean, like I say, man, a lot like right now the streets, everybody want foreign, ain't nobody really coming dunks like that. Small portion is, but you know, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying. Right now is the wave like foreigners.
Give me a quick answer. What if you could have any car right now? What car would it be?
Off top.
Off top.
Off top. We're going belly truck.
What color?
Black.
What's the next move for you as an artist?
The next move for AP Greg right now definitely is gonna be to provide new bangers weekly with a visual. You know what I'm saying? Just be on a constant update. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be providing it. You know what I'm saying? That quality music. You know what I'm saying? We're dropping a little bit of everything. We got something for everybody. You know what I'm saying? No matter what type of music you like, we got it, man. Come shop with us. Top 3.
Okay. Is what's your biggest platform? YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music? Like, what do you see that you get the most feedback on? Apple Music.
Apple Music right now. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm, you know what I'm saying? Man, no matter what you want, man, make sure you go add me AP Greg, Spotify, Tidal. No matter what you want, man, make sure you go add AP Greg channel. We
Got the facts. Is
Is
that? All right, here I have a question for you. Is that something you normally do? When you go places, do you normally see yourself? Do you always normally instantly like I'm promoting first, and you're like, hey, by the way, I'm AP Greg, I'm an artist, or are you? I feel like there's two artists. There's an artist that's like, hey, how you doing? I'm an artist, and then there's an artist that are like, hey, how you doing? And then they like kind of wait for somebody to be like, he's an artist.
Now,
what are you?
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I used to be slacking on it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go out somewhere and then feel purposeless. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if that's a word. But I definitely, instead of not saying nothing, what I'll do is like, I'll find who I definitely should be able to, who I should talk to, and then I'll introduce myself. Like, I'll go and make sure I go lock in with the DJ, make sure they know who I am, look for the promoter, make sure they know who I am, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to start building face and relationships and stuff like that. So, but I never used to do that within the crowd.
Gotcha.
which is it's you know what I'm saying, it's a good thing to do because you just never know who's who, you know what I'm saying? Like it's always good to network, man. Like that saying that say two mountains will never meet but two people will, like
Oof.
that's
Never heard that, and that's fucking awesome.
that shit
That's a good one.
that shit could be life changing.
Do you find yourself attracting more people in this business now that basically, I guess, you know, like when you start off, it's so hard to find engineers, producers.
Tough.
Do you think is it easier now for you, or is it still as hard?
I'm not gonna lie, it's a little easier. Like people reaching out, this is crazy, man. Like you know, sometimes when you search for something now on your phone, like you'll start seeing it pop up and all that shit. I swear to God, bro, like it was some shit that I was just thinking about. I swear to God, actually, we've been looking for like motherfuckers who can dance and they dance. I swear, I never typed in the phone, dog.
Need somebody that can
I
dance
never
and
typed in the phone. I
advertise
never sent it into the phone.
break dancing for
All
you.
of a sudden, I'm getting these niggas in my DMs and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit crazy, man. Like, it just be popping up. Like, man, that's crazy. But it's like, now it's definitely easier to connect with the people that I need. You know what I'm saying? Before, like I said, you're right. You know what I'm saying? When you just like don't have many people don't know you at all type stuff, like it's hard reaching out. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to try to get.
And you almost don't know where to find them.
Yeah,
you're like,
exactly.
what do you go to Chick-fil-A? Do you go to the mall? Do you go to the studio and stand outside and just weigh people down? Like, how do you find these people? Because really, when you're starting off, you can't be like, hey, DM me if you're an engineer, producer, I need somebody. Like, they're just gonna look at you and be like,
exactly. So that shit was, you know what I'm saying? You know, you definitely gotta lay your groundwork. You know what I'm saying? Let people know who you is. You know what I'm saying? Grind it out.
got you. My last two questions: indica or sativa, or does it not even fucking matter to you? You're just like, I'm ready.
Man,
to
I'm trying to be so productive with life that I need to focus on only smoking sativa. But man's over here, this man got all kind of indica, man. I don't even like. It's just something like we be smoking so much we don't even fucking know. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say like it almost gets to the point where like unless you really have like a pound at a time, then you're just like
facts. But
you're
from now on, I'm definitely gonna try to like focus on smoking sativa just because I want to get up and active.
What do you like smoking out of?
Backwoods for sure. You know, I stop that shit, man. I'm trying to find the healthiest alternative to backwoods.
The water.
Huh?
The water we were talking about.
Gotta wait.
My brother, I appreciate you so much for coming on to the show.
All day, man. Let's
Thank
go.
you for taking time out to
Rapper weed,
be able to talk.
Boy Dashes, family, man. You know how we coming, man. Stay tuned. Yes, sir.